What's going on, my fellow co-creators? So happy that you're tuning in for yet another session of Tales of Dordania. So excited here for part 2 of kind of the final battle versus Malice, the undead orcs here in Chateau d'If, as we are all fighting for Dracula's soul stone and trying to prevent him from being revived. Where we left off last time is Malice has actually just jumped to the ritual chamber with Behemoth and the soul stone in her hand, and she's about to place it on the altar. And the other 3 of our party, Kieran, Kai, and Hootie, just finished slaying 3 undead orcs in the hallway and dealt with their first archer undead orc. So with that, we're about to start and enter right where...
Hey guys, something's happening.
Yo, look, there's Behemoth over there.
What would you like to tell them? Just that?
Guys.
Yo guys, there's some crazy shit with the Behemoth and creepy chick.
Down the hall.
Kieran and Kai, what would you like to do?
Kai,
Our lady's there.
I'm gonna need your help potion if we go fight the vampire, because I'm gonna die.
Oh, and you hear Kieran begging for that health potion.
You got 2 arrows in him. He's like, ah!
Arrows are still in your body. As you kind of like hobble over to Kai, and you're just like,
please, bro, please.
Buddy, just a little,
There's something.
potion.
I gotta give you some gold or something.
you give it to him?
Promise me something, and it better work. Like, you better get some freaking energy into your hands or something, right? You better hit some shots with like a crossbow. You better get some good rolls.
And quit shooting your teammates.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not even in the
You
room.
better- all right, here. Let's put this in this way. You better promise me you'll actually help the team.
I promise. I hope the team
I'll
last
do
time
my best.
I took down the archer.
I'll do the best that I can.
He said he took down the archer, and you can't deny that he did do that.
They did take his neck
With
off.
2 arrows in my chest. But the vampire lady, that's a different story. That's a whole different level.
Someone need that health potion.
Yeah, I'll give it
For that
to you.
vampire. All right. He just kind of offers this potion, and you grab this thing as you just kind of just down it. And as you do, you pull out your arrows, and it hurts, but you feel your body start healing over and kind of, cauterize the wound in itself as you down this healing potion. Let's go save the crew. All right, you 3 roll for initiative.
Y'all will never down me with my rolls.
What you got, Kai?
20.
Nat?
The past couple nights they were pretty good, but this night, no.
Kieran, what you got?
Night 6.
Oh, shit. 7.
Not that one. Okay. You all kind of run to the edge of this room to kind of see into the ritualistic chamber of what's going on. Actually jumps still to Malice's turn first. And as she places the soul stone onto this altar, she kind of raises her hand and she just kind of eyes roll back. She just starts doing the whole chant nonsense. And she just starts, as far as you guys can tell, she's summoning the Dracula. And this ring that is around Behemoth has literally gone from glowing a slight goldish color to glowing straight black.
Cool, we need to take this.
And as it is, you see this smoke ring start forming around the base of Behemoth's body. That's going to be Malice's turn. It then jumps to you, Kai. What would you like to do?
Where am I at? Alright, so what's the situation?
As you smack your staff into the ground, it lays out a nice echo into this chamber. And you realize Malice is standing in front of the altar. She has just placed the soul stone on top of it. She is talking to somebody else as you are hearing through some other means of communication that is unbeknownst to you, so you cannot see the sending stone in her hand. You realize that Behemoth is about 5 feet behind her, trapped and paralyzed in the center of this ritualistic circle, this symbol that is carved into the ground. You see the 2 pillars that are about 15 feet apart from each other. And you realize that there is still a couple crates, small chest, and a barrel packed up into the corner of the room. And you realize where everybody is, you know everything that's going on in the room. It is then going to jump over to Tarek. Make an intelligence check.
Do I have to make an intelligence check, or can I talk to you a little bit more?
You can talk to me before you make the intelligence check. That is totally fine.
That's interesting. Go for it. I like this.
Go right ahead.
So I want to tell you, Amazon, I told you that she has an ulterior motive. You are not part of that. You are just a player in that game. And now she's
You're a
using
pawn.
Behemoth, which is going to make you stuck with me anyways. We have to stop this.
Or he's going to be a slave.
Or he will be the slave, and you and I will still be attached to each other.
As you say all these things, you hear Abaddon kind of actually come into that kind of, temporal space in your soul. And for the first time ever, you actually visibly see Abaddon for who he is. And as far as you can make out, as he's standing kind of before you, there's no legs. It just seems like kind of a cumulative, thank you, cloud of smoke and ash that's kind of built up his leg up to his torso. And it seems like he's almost hovering about 5 feet or so off the ground. And he's about maybe 8 feet tall entirely. And you see 2 about 3 feet long wings on either side of his shoulders kind of expand out. His wingspan's about 6 feet across. And you see 2 intricate horns on top of his forehead, kind of going up to the center. And you see what seems to be kind of a black gem almost embedded into his forehead. His skin tone is black or gray as far as you can kind of tell. And everything about him just seems smoky. It almost seems like his body's not necessarily there, but as he's presented his physical kind of form to you, you are able to make all these different things out, these different details that you haven't before. And as Abaddon comes to you, he kind of, I would be in agreement with you, Tarek, for it seems like we have been betrayed.
And with that, Tarek and Abaddon have kind of come to an agreement, temporarily, understanding, as it were, that Malice has kind of been screwing them over. And she doesn't really care necessarily about them. She's just in it to resurrect Dracula. And with this kind of agreement being put in place, Abaddon is now going to take control as he and Tarek.
And as he says that, you just, in the same kind of, weird kind of astral plane where you're visibly seeing everything, but you're not like in that actual, reality. You just kind of walk through the wall in front of you, and you just kind of walk right through that wall into the room, and you see Hootie, Kieran, Kai, and you see Behemoth in the altar, and you see everything, and you just kind of walk through this wall as well. And as you're just kind of walking, you're kind of getting all the way over to the far side of the room. And in this state, you are able literally to walk across the symbol that was carved into the stone. Unharmed, unreacted or anything. And as you get to the far end of the chamber, kind of about right here next to this pillar, Abaddon turns off this kind of, temporal kind of astral, realm communication. Very good. And he goes into an attack position. And as he does, he is going to try to throw this pillar down on top of the altar.
Wow.
Okay? Alright. And as he does, he's going to then kind of reveal himself. As he does, Malice all of a sudden, still holding the sending stone in your hand as she's communicating with someone else that you all do not know. She kind of turns and looks to the left of her. And she sees Abaddon kind of appear. And without hesitation, he just throws this pillar down onto the altar. And it breaks the altar on impact. And the stone is sent flying about in the middle of this circle still, kind of next to you, Behemoth, kind of on your foot. You are still paralyzed as the circle is still activated. However, the altar has been broken and this ritual has been interrupted. With that, Abaddon, I should say, is then going to make an attack to try to claw and throw Malice into the wall. It's funny because I'm literally playing like against myself.
Yeah.
And after he throws the pillar, he just kind of lunges at Malice grabbing her literally just by her face. I mean, full claw over her face. And he just throws her over you, Behemoth, like right over your head.
Nice.
Into this wall. I mean, and it cracks amongst impact. Like it literally, that was some force that was in there. Like you done threw this bitch into the wall, and you just was like, nah, Abaddon's up in this bitch, for real, for real. As this happens, that is going to be it for you, Tarek / Abaddon, for this turn. It is then going to jump over to you, Behemoth. What would you like to do? Now, you are bound,
Paralyzed,
so you are still paralyzed. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Still with a D20.
Mm-hmm. Right. As this pillar is kind of crashed into this altar, and you're visibly seeing what's going on. Once the altar cracks and the soul stone has been cast kind of close to your feet, you feel yourself kind of fall back into your body. And you are starting to realize that, oh, okay, I got my movement right. Now, this does take a bonus action for you to realize all of these different senses and to kind of get back to your bearings and what's being in this. You do still have your action, though, and your movement, as you are now unparalyzed, and this ritual has been interrupted.
Okay, and I'm next to the stone.
You are, like, the stone is in front of your right
Next to my foot.
Like, it's literally kind of in front of your foot.
Yeah.
So as you kind of look at the soul stone, you look for something that would potentially destroy it. You realize that something that could either corrode or eat the stone away to nothingness would destroy the stone. You realize also that something that would deal force damage, and force damage specifically, not bludgeoning, would potentially break the stone. And you also realize that not just regular fire, but something a little more potent, such as lava, magma, or hellfire, if you have a spell or something along those lines that could do such damage, would potentially have some effect as well amongst this stuff. As Behemoth kind of learns these different things about the Soul Stone and what can potentially not only weaken it but actually destroy it, we kind of bounce around to some of the other different team members as they're all kind of getting their bearings in this battle, and also trying to throw some strikes too, as Abaddon came in with that grand entrance. And as we go over to Hootie's turn, Hootie tries with the darts again, and with little to no success. I mean, literally throws the dart, it hits a stone wall behind Malice as she got thrown into there by Abaddon. He decides to go back to the Kung Fu, and he actually flies in over the kind of runes that are carved in this circle around the floor of this ritual chamber. He flies directly over them and literally, like, Kung Fu crane kicks Malice's head right back into the stone wall, cracking her skull in there again. And he literally fixed his talons directly into her head as he went again for another slash action with his other leg. Unfortunately, was a bit high, ended up scratching the wall above him. But with his one foot and talons still on Malice's face, we actually jump to Kieran, who at the same moment kind of dives down low with a bolt in his crossbow ready, finally rolls high enough and actually hits Malice. And as he lets loose, he lets a beautiful crossbow right into the kneecap, shattering the kneecap of Malice. And she just, I mean, she's pissed now. I mean, she's crying out in pain, not doing very good at all. And as this all kind of takes place, it actually then jumps to Malice's turn. And she's pissed off and very much so ready for revenge. It is then going to jump back to Malice's turn, and Hootie, as you are on her face with one of your talons, she's just going to bring her scimitar up and literally try to cut off your foot.
I want that sword.
Scimitar?
Roll bad, roll bad, roll bad.
Nope.
What's your armor class?
What?
Your
Me?
armor class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hootie,
I didn't
sorry.
realize 15.
She hits you.
Oh.
Barely. She rolled a 16.
And now
Literally.
you're disabled.
That's
Well, she can roll like a 3, you no longer have powers.
Oh, goodness gracious, Malice. What is your hit points at? Yeah, you, Hootie.
11.
Oh,
And you're disabled.
yeah.
You're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much
As
Right in the circle.
she did 15 damage.
Oh my
Please tell me
god.
it throws her
That
back
gum.
out
So
of the
that
circle.
knocks me out or what?
So what she's gonna do is as she brings her scimitar up, she literally is gonna cut your foot clean off.
No, how do I get a new foot?
There you go.
Wait, you're gonna just break me.
Yeah.
Make me a
It's
foot.
just not gonna be as strong.
At some point.
You know
It
what?
could be stronger.
So
Learn.
Prosthetic.
Learn,
Right?
Okay.
you take the 15 damage,
Yeah, so I'm what, knocked out?
knocked out. Yep. And as you
Zero.
see your foot literally just
Yeah.
get cut from its leg,
Oh my god.
you lose all sense of consciousness and Hootie. You literally just fall down onto the ground
Okay.
and right in front of Malice.
Well,
And we'll say your right foot has been cut off.
Yeah.
She is then
Anyone that's in
Behemoth,
the
realizing that you
Sacrifice
are no
himself.
longer paralyzed because the altar is destroyed. She is going to lunge at you and try to just scimitar
She's pretty
cut
mad, isn't she?
on the back of the head. Oh, she's pretty pissed.
Oh yeah, go for it. You know,
She's pretty
great
pissed.
girl.
Armor class?
14.
She gonna hit there, bro.
We gotta kill her, bro. We gotta kill
And
her.
as she kind of comes forward and kind of brings her scimitar, she's gonna cut right into your back. She's gonna slash from like one shoulder almost down to your hip, like perfectly.
Heartbreaker.
And she gonna do
And you know the words.
7 damage.
That's not too bad. Could have been way
Could have been 15, yeah.
I'm about
Way
to
yeah.
run away.
So as she kind of just slashes across your back, you let out this cry that he would
Creator!
and this creator as it digs deep into your back. With that being said, it is then going to jump to Kai.
And on Kai's turn, he thought for a moment and then decided that it would be very, very smart and who of him to go ahead and try to see if he could save dear Behemoth from being in the ritualistic rune circle carved out in the center of the room. And so he decided to literally use one of his bonus actions as a monk and to kind of double his movement and leap 40 feet across the room, diving at Behemoth, literally taking him out of the circle. They did slightly roll into the stone wall in front of them, taking a wee bit of bludgeoning damage, nothing too serious, however. And he was successful, though, in getting Behemoth out of the ritualistic circle. And with that, then we jumped over to Tarrig, who is now still maintaining his new relationship with Abaddon and has decided to still try to convince him, and is doing a great job of it, that Malice is the true enemy. And Abaddon, in agreement, even offers Tarrig to decide which he needs to go for first, the Soul Stone or Malice. And Tarrig decides that the Soul Stone is more important, and here's actually why.
To Abaddon.
You have to throw that stone.
You feel yourself.
We kill Malice.
But if there's no
Yeah,
stone,
see, the stone
there's
is
no
more
ritual.
important. That's the
It's 50. There's no
WMD.
stone, there's no ritual, there's no malice, there's no stone ritual.
Right.
Malice never stopped.
Like it's WMD. That
But the other
stone
piece,
is.
the other piece though, is that we have to do the ritual because it's bringing Dracula back.
Yeah.
So Theo is winning.
That.
We know. Well, I don't know if we know this. I don't know this.
I
But
do.
Theo is winning, right?
So if we win the soul
So we
stone,
have to stop this ritual, and the only way to stop the ritual is to destroy the stone.
right?
Because even if you destroy
So
Malice,
it's already
we got the
learning
even if you destroy
Hanging out
Malice,
with
the
stones
stone's
is
still
not
there, so someone else can come.
Yeah, but no one else is here, so I'm saying
We
we
kill-
destroy her.
They
and
get
then
the stone,
destroy
we
the
can kill her.
Hey,
We can
but-
get
He gets the
Okay,
stone.
whatever. Well-
Y'all do Malice.
Hey, you know we can divide forces. Yeah, that's
Divide and
fine.
conquer, or whatever.
Yeah.
As you tell
So, like,
Abaddon
if you
that
press
the
the shot-
stone would be more advantageous to take out first.
I'm knocked out.
You feel Abaddon. Alrighty then. Prepare yourself,
Your name can get you.
I did
Might be
strike
very
with
low.
this trigger.
Because you're still in a circle.
And as you feel yourself
Ew.
that dash over to the stone, kind of laying
Yeah.
still on the ground,
I can bring
you kind of jump over to it about 5 feet. It's not a crazy jump. or
We're
anything.
not going.
And you feel Abaddon's wings sprout out from your back. And you are conscious that his wings have literally spurred from your dark elf stand.
Yes.
And as he does, he kind of cowers down and he just starts breathing out hellfire.
Hellfire.
Hellfire! Different than regular fire. And that's going to hit that soulstone good.
Oh damn.
Get bitches.
Get
All
it.
them bitches.
Get it.
And as Abaddon engulfs the soulstone with hellfire, you start to see it start glowing.
Ooh, it's
Red
really
from
wrong now.
underneath.
That's good.
And it starts to start crackling. And it starts to seem like it is breaking. Now, it has not done enough damage to fully break. Your fire is still producing during this moment, okay?
So it's
Abaddon,
crackling, but it's not.
Abaddon is like just still engulfing this soulstone. It's cracking. It's starting to almost like, you know, have you ever seen like metal being forged? You know, when it like gets compressed, like the kind of outer layer kind of cracks and falls off, kind of. That's what you're kind of witnessing of the soulstone. It seems like it is glowing from within, red hot, and starting to deteriorate from the exterior. And it is starting to break down, and it is starting to kind of crumble in its actual form. As you are still engulfing it in flames, Terrig /
I want
Abaddon,
to kill her anyway.
it is going to jump over to Behemoth.
And as we jump over to Behemoth, he kind of takes his whole turn, more or less, just kind of stand up and get his bearings after being knocked out of the ritual circle by Kai, doing his kind of acrobatic lunge across the room. And then literally it goes across everybody else's turn as they all kind of making more attempts to kind of finish off Malice, as she's very, very much in this weakened state now, after having her kneecap literally shattered and an arrow sticking out of it by Kieran. And unfortunately, however, no one else is really able to land that finishing blow, and no one else is really able to do what is needed to be done to really finish Malice and take her out. So we go through everyone's turn until we got back to Terrig, and then this happened.
Anything you would like to say to Abaddon or to yourself?
Keep going, homie. Keep going.
Burn, homie, burn!
Yep.
We don't need that.
And as Abaddon is breathing,
Burn.
this hellfire,
Chain in the memory.
you see it start glowing like a vibrant bright orange. Like it is like a molten piece of iron that has been stuck into a furnace. And it starts just glowing, and then literally as Abaddon is just breathing this constant kind of pink fluorescent hellfire on top of this stone, it just explodes. And it just, I mean, completely shatters. Brings it, and it breaks off into the wall, into the rock, into the pillar.
Into
I mean,
Malice.
it just shatters off everything.
Into Malice's
Okay.
face.
Luckily, from what you can tell, you and your friends have not been hit by any of Dracula's soulstone shards or anything. Malice has not been hit either by Dracula's soulstone shards.
Gosh.
But the soulstone has been destroyed.
Nice.
And as Abaddon is breathing this hellfire over, and as he realizes what has happened, he stopped for a second. Oh, do you hear that silence, Terrig? As Terrig says he does.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
And you guys kind of have this, agreement that's kind of been met. You agreed to kind
Unspoken
of help
agreement,
him
yes.
destroy this, and then you would figure out how to deal with each other later.
We can work with each other.
And you're extremely satisfied that not only did Abaddon actually help out, but that this was enough of an issue for him that he could get on board with it and actually kind of join you in a sense and not be completely against you when he was actually in your control. And with that, the soulstone has been broken, and Malice screams out. I mean, Vader just know, just like hardcore, just the stone has been shattered. And as she does, Abaddon, you're literally going to turn your gaze and try to hellfire her.
Right where Kai's standing.
Yep.
No.
Yep. This comes into Abaddon. Doesn't like think too much about the other people.
He's all chaos.
Yeah.
And he's definitely going to hit. And
Hit me?
oh, he hit you.
Why? Thought we were
He'll
friends.
heal you.
We're not boys.
Yeah, you're not.
Abaddon's not boys.
Abaddon does not care about us at all.
Kai and Behemoth, you both take 13 damage.
I'm dead.
I'm good.
Be something you can heal.
And
That heals myself.
as you kind of turn Abaddon, you just let out this roar towards Malice. And as you do, her body, she's still screaming, disarrayed about the soulstone being shattered literally before her. Her body is engulfed in this hellfire. And as she is burning up, you see her body, even in your state, Abaddon, Tarek, breathing this hellfire, you see her body just disappear and form this black mist. And this mist, just shoots up through the rock, through everything, and it is gone.
Harry Potter.
And Abaddon, as he's breathing this, and as you're seeing this kind of happen, you hear him in your head. Oh, what a sneaky bitch. Those vampires with the misty escape. Don't worry, Tarek. I know we'll run into her again.
Oh, she's not dead? Dude,
And Malice is
Of
gone.
course she's
I just wanted her.
And as she is gone,
She was close.
you heard the phrase misty escape, which is something you have not heard of for vampires or know what necessarily is, but Abaddon has called it out as such.
Write it down.
Misty escape is important. And as the room dissipates from this black smoke, as it just kind of shoots literally through the cracks in the rock out to where you guys literally do not know, it's just gone. You realize that this circle in the center of the room is no longer active.
Nice.
The glowing kind of pulsing element underneath the floor has ceased. It literally just looks like there's carvings into the stone around you. And you all realize that the battle is over and that Malice has retreated and that the soul stone has been destroyed. What would you all like to do?
And unanimously, the party decided that before making camp and setting out for the night, they just wanted to loot and see if there's anything on any of the undead orcs that they had fought in the hallway, and kind of scope out the rest of this chamber and also the original chamber of Anukas himself to see if there was any other treasure to be found, and also to try again to see what was in this kind of enchanted box. Unfortunately, they failed in discovering what was in this kind of burning hot enchanted treasure chest that is in the ritualistic chamber that we've had multiple people attempt at opening so far. Still no success quite yet, but they're going to definitely try again here in the future. And everyone else was pretty much able to find some really good treasure, some good gold, some more potions, things of that nature, some minor, kind of weapons and stuff along the undead orcs' bodies. And with all of that being said, they finally, after, searching throughout everything, decided to make camp for the night before they journeyed back home to Alacardia.
And as Behemoth suggests that it would be smart to take rest before you all make your way back to Alacardia to see how Theomars has fared against the rest of House Malice there and how the Kingdom of Alacardia has fared against them. You all feel a sigh of relief that Dracula's Soulstone has been destroyed. Malice, at least for the time being, has been defeated. Terry, you and Abaddon seem to be at least on speaking terms, which is further than you've ever gotten. And the rest of you are
at terrible odds right now.
Not terrible.
No, we're at decent talking terms. That's not bad.
And the rest of you are all wondering kind of what is the next step and who is this Theomars that we have just completed this task for. And you are all kind of eager to get back to Alacardia to see what potential reward there is in store for you, as well as to get back to town and fully have that satisfaction of completing this first big quest. And as you all kind of post up camp, Behemoth kind of sets up his tent. That is where we will end tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Tales of Dordania. And we will catch you on the next one. It's been a fun night and a fun evening. So God bless and take care. We'll see you on the flip.